TG Watkins is with us, Director of Stocks, Simpler Trading. TG Watkins, great to see you. I know that you have a lot of thoughts on FAANG. I know a lot of people are watching MAGA, right, meaning Microsoft and Apple and Google, right? They're changing FAANG over to MAGA. And so we're not talking politics. We're talking these tech stocks, these growth stocks. What are your thoughts on this group, which, you know, they were out of favor a little bit, but then they came back, and I don't know, a little shaky now.
That's kind of the consensus is we don't really know. It is a little bit shaky. It is good that most of the earnings were received with good news. We saw a lot of the stocks actually pop up. The only ones that didn't really receive very well was Amazon, but I think that was mostly because all of that was baked into the cake. You know, everyone knows that Amazon's doing well, so it's one of those things. It's like you kind of buy the rumor, sell the news. Everything was good. Okay, so it did what it needed to do. Beyond that, you know, Tesla even took off. Apple's doing well, Facebook, all the rest, they're doing well. Microsoft, you know, they have Teams, and so they're getting really heavy on the internet, you know, work from home type situation. The concern I have is that we've had such a good run and that all of this is looking really good that sometimes it's too good. We get a little bit exuberant, and I'm looking at some technical levels like the put-call ratio for the entire market. And we're really, really low, meaning there just aren't a lot of buyers left. And I'm wondering if people were kind of taking some of this good news as an opportunity to start getting out of some positions and say, hey, you know what, it's time to kind of take in some profits. And that might actually start changing some things. So that's kind of where I'm at with these earnings results.
Yeah, so the question is, and some of the results have been some good news, and as you're saying, we've had a run up, and maybe people are taking some off the table or trimming positions. You know, of the group, of the FAANG group, do you think any could break out more likely than others in the next 6-12 months?
Well, probably Netflix and then Amazon. Those are going to obviously be the solid ones because they are still doing well and they kind of are good defenses. Now, the interesting thing I've heard is that even though Netflix has had really good reports, like they've had a lot of subscribers over the last few months, they actually gave forward guidance saying that they expect a lot of those subscribers to actually come off once the whole lockdown and stay-at-home thing actually goes away. You know, more people going back out and doing their normal thing. Some of the other interesting ones is Facebook and Google. They run a lot on advertisement revenue, and companies like Expedia, they've come out and said, hey, we normally spend $5 billion on advertising, and he said, we are lucky if we're going to be spending $1 billion this year. So I think that they are going to be heavily affected, and I want to kind of see where that starts catching up as things either kind of come back to normal or continue to persist in some of these directions.
All right, well, I absolutely love this, TG, and no disrespect to your uncle. But apparently he asked you a question, which was very telling. Explain that to us.
It is. My uncle literally the other day texted me. He said, hey, is the market going to keep going up? Is it safe to get back into the market? And, you know, my uncle's not a trader. He's kind of an average investor or somebody that just kind of has his money in the market. And he kind of sees what the rest of the population sees. And they're seeing that this has been a really good recovery. And they're like, okay, is this about the time that we need to go in? And honestly, when we see that and when we see media come out and just say, hey, this is amazing, this is great, usually those are counter indicators saying that, you know, when everybody else thinks it's good to go in, right, that's when the professionals know that it's time to get out.
Did he ask you about the small caps? Because I know that was something you were talking about quickly on the small caps.
No, he didn't ask about those specifically because, you know, it's not really on the radar. But what I have been noticing is that the small caps have been just so beat up that they haven't recovered yet, except for basically this week and the end of last week. So what I'm wondering is if they have no more room to really go down, we kind of look at cycle rotation and all the big winners, you know, the big stocks have kind of done their thing. Maybe they need to start paring back and coming down, and some of the money will then go into the really beat up names. So really, you know, if you're a trader and you're looking at this stuff, look kind of small caps and see if there's some opportunity there.
And you like IWM. Are you recommending that quickly?
Not yet. It had a really good run. We're actually short it. It needs to come back down, but I am cautiously looking for another reload sometime in the near future.
I see. All right. Good chat. Thank you. TG Watkins, thank you.
Thank you.
Director of Stocks, Simpler Trading.